Welcome back, Javatarians. Today we're going to do the other recursion program, Recursion 8. It looks a lot like the first one. However, it has the substring after the plus sign and the char at the beginning. So if you remember what happened with Recursion 7, you might make a guess as to what this is going to do. But let's walk through it and check for ourselves. So again, when the method recur gets called, it's got a base case. The length has to be greater than 0. What it will return is char at length minus 1. So the last character plus. It will call the method recur again, but with a substring of the original string, right? Leaving off the last character. And once the base case has been reached, this is outside the if statement, it will return an empty string. So, again, when we call it the first time, right, we're calling it with the string zebra. In terms of the activation record, the first call of that method, the string we're using is zebra. So the length of zebra is greater than 0. We're going to return the character at the end, length minus 1. So we're going to return the character A plus whatever happens with recur with the substring of everything but the last character. Remember, substring leaves off whatever's at length minus 1. It stops with 1 before it, so it leaves off the last character. So we are going to call recur. Bring this over a bit. We're going to return the final character plus whatever recur gives us when we call it with the substring ZEBR. Now, looking at it, you might be able to figure out what's happening, what's about to happen. But let's go through it to make sure. So, recur gets called again, opening up activation record 2. We're calling recur with ZEBR this time. The length is greater than 0, so we enter the if statement. We return the character at length minus 1. In that case, that last character is R. So it's going to return character R plus whatever you get when you call recur with the substring everything but the last character. So we're going to call recur with the string getting smaller. Again, with recursion, something has to decrease in order for it not to be an infinite loop or infinite recursion. In this case, the string is getting smaller. Eventually, the length is going to get to 0. Now, since the method recur is called, it gets added to the stack one more time. We are going to return the last character of the string S plus what happens when we recall the substring leaving off the last character. Recur with just ZE. Okay. What happens now? You guessed it, we add to the stack this call to the method recur. We return the last character plus whatever happens when you call recur with the substring. In this case, you're down to just the Z. Recur gets called one more time. Activation record 5. We return the last character plus whatever you get when you call recur with an empty string. Well, What happens when you call recur with an empty string? We go into recur with an empty string. The length is no longer greater than 0, so we don't return this. We return this empty string instead. So all this gives us is an empty string. So what happens? This goes in place of that method call. So we've got z plus nothing at the end. Okay. This goes in place of that method call. So we've got z plus nothing, so it's just z. This gets returned for that method call. So e z. This return goes in for that method call. This gets returned, and so we've got BEZ. And as each one returns, it gets removed from the stack since it's no longer being used. Finally, this method call gets this returned to it. This activation record returns R plus BEZ. R, B, E, Z. Finally, the original method call returns A plus R, B, E, Z. So we get A, R, B, E, Z is what's inside the print line statement. So it's going to print out zebra backwards. Now, some of you may have figured that out right away, because what does it do? It takes the last character and puts it in front of the rest of the string. So this part chops off the last character. This part puts the last character in front. As a result, it gets returned in reverse order. So again, we get add to the stack, add to the stack. When we finally get to the top, everything gets returned. We get the string in reverse order. Right. So that's the Recursion 8 program. We will, I will give you some problems to work on, some programming problems. Hopefully these examples will give you some insight as to how to solve them.